Hi everyone, welcome to this episode of Ask a New York City Tour Guide. Now in this episode, we're going to talk about booze. Now right now, we're sort of entering phase 4 of reopening, but there's still no indoor dining or anything like that. So make sure that you definitely call to make sure that the place that is recommended is open. A lot of places do have takeaway cocktails, so grab a cocktail, head back to the place you're staying. For me, my recommendation is going to be drink local. So many amazing, great breweries around, as well as distilleries. You can get vodka, whiskey, gin, even sake. So definitely try them out. Now, here's what the guides have to say.
Well, New York City is the best drinking city in the world. We invented the cocktail, and so I'm just going to leave that up to you. Just go to a classic hotel bar.
Go to a place like Dear Irving on Irving Place, which is kind of speakeasy-ish type bar, but they have great mixologists, great bartenders, and you can try tons of different stuff. They have a fantastic menu. So.
Okay.
The best alcoholic drink, there's so many, but I say splurge, go to St. Regis, King Cole Bar, find the origins of the Bloody Mary and have a red snapper at King Cole Bar at St. Regis on 5th Avenue and 55th Street.
The best booze drink to try is definitely the martini at the Knickerbocker Hotel. Their claim to fame is that they invented the modern martini. It's a pretty penny. It's like upwards of 20 bucks. I think it's like $25 for like a thing like this, but I'm not a huge fan of martinis, and their martini was amazing. It's a classic New York drink. I think it's better than the Manhattan. So definitely, if you want to be fancy, go for the martini at the Knickerbocker.
The wrong person to ask this because I like to drink just about everything. No, I'm just kidding. But I mentioned Maison Premier in Williamsburg earlier. Again, one of my favorite bars. They have perhaps the best hot toddy I have ever tried in my life. So if you're visiting here, fall, winter, they make a whole presentation with it where they bring like they have like all the herbs. You can choose to have it made with Calvados. You can have it made with bourbon. Name your spirit. But it is one of the best sensory experiences I can remember drinking that I've ever had.
Picking one best booze drink, of course, depends so much on personal taste, but I am a big fan of Keen's on 36th Street because not only because it's a beautiful historic place that people like Harry Houdini and Theodore Roosevelt like to go to, but because they have the best selection of single malt scotch in the city, and you can get them by the flight with your little 1-ounce pours of 4 of them and compare as you go.
Actually, it's my favorite booze in life. I don't have a New Yorker booze, but I like a lot is Godfather. Godfather is Scotch or whiskey. My whiskey is black Johnny Walker with amaretto. You feel the strong taste of the whiskey, but the sweet end of the amaretto.
No, and anyway, I think Manhattan is a great cocktail, served in the martini cup, and rather than have the standard vermouth, try Punta Mesa, which is not very sweet.
So, I'm not much of a cocktail drinker. When I can get them, I do. I'm more of a beer drinker, and I always say, if you're in New York, you should drink local beers. We have a lot of craft breweries in the city. I can name a bunch of them, but there's a place that I love over in Williamsburg. It's called Spoitendeuvel. It's this tiny little place out of the way. No one's ever in there, and they have all of the rarest and hardest to find craft beers. So if you're into beer, Spoitendeuvel.
Any booze recommendations? A place that I went to recently is called the Cauldron. It's on Stone Street. If you guys are into Harry Potter, it's not. I don't know that kids can go there, but maybe during the day, kind of a thing. But what I love about it is the street that it's located. It's one of the oldest streets that we have here in New York City, and all the kids that are on my tours, they're like, "Whoa, this looks like Diagon Alley." But when you go to the Cauldron, they have these fancy drinks that have, I think it was, what kind of ice? What was it that we put in it? It had dry ice in it, so it's smoking, and then they have this tree where you use wands and stuff like that. So if that's your thing, I was just in complete awe when we went there. Super surprised.
I don't know if I have a favorite booze drink, but I do have to recommend a bar, Marie's Crisis, down in the Village. It's basically just a musical theater piano bar, and all night long you just stand around the piano with a group of people belting out show tunes. You won't find anything like it anywhere else.
My favorite alcoholic drink in New York City, and my favorite happy hour in general, is at a bar called Night of Joy, which is in Williamsburg, Brooklyn. They have a really unique cocktail happy hour, but specifically, they have a drink that is jalapeno tequila, black currant, and lime. They are very good.
So, the best cocktail I've had in Manhattan was called the Color Purple at 67 Orange, which is this tiny little speakeasy in Harlem on Frederick Douglass Boulevard. It's absolutely delicious. But if I can stretch the rules a little bit, it's almost Queens. Easily the best drink I've ever had in my life that happened to be alcoholic was at the Cork and Kerry, which is just outside of Queens, just a stone's throw away from the Queens County Farm Museum. It's some of the most delicious hot chocolate I had in my life, and they throw in some peanut butter liqueur and some raspberry liqueur, and they flambe a little mini marshmallow on top of it for you. You're gonna find a lot of boozy hot chocolates in New York, but that is by far my favorite. And last I checked, they also had an outpost in Queens Plaza, though I've never been there, so I can't really vouch for that one. But make the trip, go to the Queens County Farm Museum, especially if you're here in fall, and then get yourself a hot chocolate. Just don't drive immediately after. It's toasty.
Hopefully we've inspired some ideas for you to put together before you get here. So many amazing places to try. If you want to do a brewery tour in Ridgewood or in Bushwick, so Ridgewood, Queens, Bushwick, Brooklyn, just let me know. I do them in both places, some really, really great stuff. And all of these guides, they'd be more than willing to show you around town and point out some of their favorites. Maybe have a drink or two with you. So we hope to see you as soon as we can. And as always, please like, share, comment, subscribe. Thanks.